Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review and a demo of the brand new L'Oreal Skin Ink, which was recently released in the UK. So this comes in 15 shades altogether. The shade range is absolutely abysmal. Luckily I was able to find one that matches me quite well. My shade is in 140 warm, and this is described as for light medium skin. That's as far as we got with the shade description. So I have got light to medium skin tone with yellowy golden undertones. This shade is a little bit on the warm side for me. I'm not sure if you can really tell, but it's enough that I can get away with it. Plus we're now coming into summer, so my skin's going to naturally get a little bit darker anyway, so it doesn't bother me as much. But 15 shades wouldn't be so bad if the shade range was actually covering most people, and I just don't feel like it does. Now this retails in the UK at £14.99 is its full retail price. 15ml though, 15ml. A normal foundation is 30ml, so £14.99 for 15ml seems like it's quite excessively priced. So yeah, it comes in this tube, and you do have to shake it, as you can hear, and that's what it looks like up close. Got a doe foot applicator where you can see the nib in the middle holds a lot of the product, making it easy to apply to your face. Not messy or anything like that, thankfully. So let me just quickly read to you what they say off of Boots' website. Experience the future of long wear. L'Oreal Paris Infallible Skin Ink is a 2-in-1 foundation and concealer hybrid with a soft matte finish and buildable coverage. The groundbreaking fusion technology bonds with your skin, providing undetectable flawless coverage that lasts up to 48 hours. I never saw that bit. Are they lying? 48 hours? Who's wearing their makeup for 48 hours, you guys? Sweat-proof and transfer-resistant, Skin Ink has been designed to empower you to move freely and confidently, knowing your makeup will stay perfectly in place. Okay, so that's what their claims are. Now, before I go into my review and whether or not I agree or disagree with them, let's go into the demo itself. So I'm just dotting it all over my face as I normally would do with any kind of foundation, and you can use any kind of makeup brush or sponge to disperse it over your face as you see fit. As you can see, I have covered half of my face just to give you guys an idea of what the coverage is actually like and how it covers up or doesn't cover up on my imperfections, before I move on to the other side of my face and apply one layer yet again. Now, even though they say it has got buildable coverage, I would personally say that it is light to medium, and voila, this is what my face looks like completely done. Now, as a rule of thumb for me to determine the coverage of something, I always go by this beauty spot, if you guys can see it right there. So it's not covered despite the fact that I've put 2 layers on it. So I would definitely say that this is a light to medium buildable coverage foundation. I wouldn't say that it goes up towards full coverage unless you want that feeling on your face of too much product, which obviously nowadays we don't even have to have. We just want it to feel nice, natural and comfortable on the face. And even they have written to empower you to move freely and confidently. So that makes me think that I should be able to move my face without it being like feeling restrictive on the face. Now, in terms of its texture itself, it's not a runny foundation, as you could see when I applied it to my face. It's got medium sort of consistency. The one thing that I would say is that it does start to dry quite quickly. Think Estee Lauder Double Wear type of speed, and it starts to set on the face very quickly as well. It leaves a very soft matte kind of finish. You don't get that sticky feeling, which makes me think that, well, you don't actually really need to set it at all either, which is a plus point in my view, but I can't help it, I still set it anyway. So it says it's got a soft matte finish, which I would say that yes, it does have. I wouldn't say a naturally matte finish, because naturally matte is more resembling what your actual skin is like, whereas soft matte means that your skin looks a little bit blurred, I would say. But it's okay. I don't hate the finish of it. I just generally tend to prefer naturally matte. Now, the fact that they say that it gives undetectable flawless coverage, I don't agree. It's not flawless. I can still see, like I said, my beauty spot. I can see a little bit of redness on my chin, and I can still see some of the marks that I have on my face, the natural marks that I have left over from acne as a teenager. So I wouldn't say that it gives flawless coverage. Now, they've said that it lasts up to 48 hours. I wouldn't even say this lasts up to 12 hours, you guys. One thing that I noticed, and bear in mind it is now warm in London, and I have worn it on some of the cooler days, some of the warmer days. I have not used it with any kind of setting spray because I wanted to see what it would perform like without additional help. And I found that towards, I'd say about hour 8, it started to break down in these areas around my mouth, around the sides of my nose, and this area here. So generally those kind of T-zone-ish kind of areas, and also the areas on your face that generally tend to get the most expression. So like when I move my eyebrows, when I talk, this area obviously moves, and the sides of my nose. I have got normal combination skin, so my skin can get a little bit on the oilier side, but since I started using Korean skincare, I don't even worry about oily skin anymore. So I just find that this does start to break down after about hour 8, so I refute its claims that they say it lasts up to 48 hours. It really does not. Sweat proof and transfer resistant, I would say up to a point, but bear in mind, if it was sweat proof, those oilyish areas on my face would not be breaking down, so I don't think it is very much sweat proof. Transfer resistant up to a degree, but again, when you start to go throughout the day and you start to see it breaking down slightly, you touch your face and yes, it does come off. I would still say that it does perform a lot better than other foundations in terms of lack of transfer. Now don't get me wrong, I don't think that this is a bad foundation, but I think that 15ml means that it's going to finish very quickly, especially if you're like me and you're going to end up layering it because you have no choice. I also don't necessarily like the way that it actually sits on my skin. For some reason it gives me that feeling like a thicker kind of concealer. Think Tarte Shape Tape, you know, the thickness of it, and that might also have something to do with the fact that it dries down so quickly, meaning that I don't have that same level of flexibility to shift it around on my face. Now the way that I apply my foundation generally is I do my foundation and then I do my concealer after, and what I've noticed is because it sets so quickly on the face and I've blended out my concealer, there's like a line over here because one area is obviously dry and the other area is still wet. With other foundations I wouldn't have that issue because they're still drying and they almost blend into each other. So I think that this struggles in that respect because it dries down just a bit too fast. I would give this a 7 out of 10. I don't think it is a bad foundation, but I also don't think it's the best. I think it's okay. I've given all my reasons, my pros and my cons, and I stand by the 7 out of 10. It's not something I would repurchase. The color range is not large enough. The size of the bottle does not match the price. $14.99 for 15ml is not good, especially considering that this is actually a drugstore brand. However, I would say that for those days when I'm in a bit of a hurry and I'm also not too concerned how much makeup I have on my face, I think it will work well for me. Still can't believe they say it lasts up to 48 hours. Another thing to bear in mind that this is also supposed to be a foundation stroke concealer. I don't think that this would conceal very well if after 2 layers I can still see my beauty spot. Sorry to keep going back to it, but it's the only kind of marker that I have to use this against. So again, I'm going to stick to the 7 out of 10. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are. Have you tried it? Are you thinking about trying it? Let me know in the comments section below. Other than that, I hope you guys are fabulous and gorgeous as always, and I'll see you all in the next video.